We often have conversations with people around benefits. People just simply don't know that they're entitled to them. Financial advisors typically offer an initial meeting at no cost to you, and that just puts you in a position where you can make informed decisions going forward as to what to do next.
Today we're welcoming Emma, a chartered financial planner and also a SOLA later years accredited life advisor. Can I start by asking you to tell us briefly about yourself?
Sure. I work for a small independent financial advisor firm based in Poole. I've worked there for about 15 years. SOLA accredited, which means that I specialise in later life planning. The majority of our clients are over the age of 55, so we have a lot of contact with carers and people needing care. And then on a personal level, I'm a mum of 2 young boys, and I have a grandmother who is nearly 102 years old, and she has lived in a care home for the last couple of years. So as a family, we've had a lot of discussions around care as well.
So what are the common concerns or questions that are raised with you when people meet you for the first time with their families, and what are they struggling with?
One of the big scenarios that we have when we meet people is, where do we start? People don't know where to begin. They might not have gone through this process before of looking into care. They're faced with a minefield of information. They don't know what's necessarily reliable, what's up to date, what's relevant to them. So it can be very daunting and overwhelming. And this is where we help them to map out what information may be helpful to them. We can guide them through financial planning points, but in terms of advice and guidance in other areas, if it's not our area of expertise, we can help guide them and signpost them in the right direction.
Is there any information or support out there that you think isn't as well known about as it should be?
Yes, we often have conversations with people around benefits. There are billions of pounds worth of unclaimed benefits in this country every year, and people just simply don't know that they're entitled to them. And that there's so many benefits out there, and a lot of them are not means tested. I'll give you a couple of examples. Council tax reduction. So if you're a single person living by yourself, you're entitled to a 25% discount. The other popular one is attendance allowance. So if you have any form of disability, that could be physical or mental, it might be hearing or sight impairment, or you may have a condition like dementia, or even if you need help with personal care, you may qualify for attendance allowance. And those payments are also tax-free as well as not means tested. There are really good benefit calculators available online. One of them is www.entitled2.com, and you put in your basic information and it will tell you if you're potentially entitled to some of these benefits. That could be a really good starting point for looking into it.
What advice would you have for someone planning or organising care for the first time?
So my advice would be to get help from somebody who's knowledgeable and experienced in this field. That can save a lot of time, and it can make the whole process a lot easier. You get access to the right information and guidance at outset. There are many people that you can approach for help, and that could be charities, financial advisors, or care navigators. And I specifically mention care navigators because they are specialists in helping people to find the right care. They can help in all sorts of areas, such as if you want somebody to help fill in some forms. For example, if you're applying for attendance allowance, you can have someone at meetings with you as support and guidance if you have a care needs assessment, for example. They can also talk you through the various range of care options available for you. And if you're looking to move into a care home, then they can assist with that as well. They can help with the whole process or parts of it. They'll charge a reasonable fee for the work that they do, but it's all about getting the right outcome for you.
If you were Prime Minister for the day, what would you do to improve funding in social care?
So if I was Prime Minister for the day, I would look at the social care reform and reprioritise that. Back in 2021, the government introduced the social care reform, which is a 10-year vision for improving social care. And that was a very welcome move, especially after years of austerity in social care. It's a really great step forward. Unfortunately, in the last year or two, key components of the proposals have been delayed and scaled back. Also, we haven't got a long-term costed plan in how we're going to achieve this 10-year vision. What the government has done is provided extra funding by way of firefighting for the areas that really need it, but this is a very short-term move and very sporadic. So I would initially look at the government's funding formula, which hasn't been updated for the last 10 years. And that is a basis on which they decide how much the local authorities will be allocated to support their services. So at the minute, a lot of services are struggling because they're underfunded. So I would look at that. I think overall, we need a more robust plan, policies in place to understand where we're going to get the funding from, how we're going to improve pay and conditions for staff, support unpaid carers. A lot of work to be done, but it's about keeping that momentum with the proposals, and so that we can deliver on the promised reforms.
What is the one biggest piece of advice you would offer to families who are looking after someone that they love at home and might be facing struggles?
My advice to families would be to apply for a care needs assessment at the earliest opportunity. So as soon as the person needs care, apply. And anyone can apply for a care needs assessment. You can apply on behalf of someone else. Anyone who needs care is entitled to this assessment, and it's absolutely free. So you can approach social services at your local council. You can apply online or by telephone. And what it means is that the council will come out and do an assessment, and they have the possibility of being able to offer care for that person. And that could be anything from equipment like a walking frame or a personal alarm. It could be an adaptation to your home, for example, a stair lift. It could be funding through a paid carer, or help to move into a care home. It's also a stepping stone to get a financial needs assessment, and this may provide funding to help support the care costs. And one other point I would mention on that is admission into care homes, if that's something you're looking at, seldom happen without a care needs assessment, so the sooner the better.
Any final words of encouragement for people out there who are supporting someone at home who is in need?
There's lots of support out there for them as well. So it could be Carers Alliance, which is financial support. Respite services can also be really useful. There's a lot of information and resources on a website, carersuk.org, and that provides lots of information to carers. And the other point I would note is around funding for care, which is a common question that we get. Financial advisors typically offer an initial meeting at no cost to you, and that just puts you in a position where you can make informed decisions going forward as to what to do next. If you have any questions or want support, please feel free to get in touch. Just remember, you are not alone.